What's up guys, Coach Az here with Ollie. Today I want to talk a little bit about the calf kick. The calf kick has become like the modern day problem for MMA fighters in particular. The reason is it's just so difficult to defend against. So I want to look at why is it so difficult to check the calf kick and what can we do, what are our options when it comes to defending against this shot. So let's take it that we're both in an orthodox stance. Now the most common way that we're going to see this occurring is going to be my back leg roundhouse coming round and shooting into that calf. Now you can do this in all different positions on that calf as well. You can come basically attacking to the ankle, so where the bottom of the calf inserts down into here. We can of course just come right onto the meaty bits, coming right around into that muscle, and what you see real often is here where it connects up into the knee. Now, the typical defense for any leg kick is that we lift our leg up to check, we turn it to the outside with the hopes that we get a shin on shin contact. So as I go to shoot that kick, Ollie lifts and turns out, and fingers crossed, I run into his shin. The problem is, even with a check, more often than not, you're still going to get hit a bit on your calf. And a big part of that issue is, as Ollie lifts his leg, so Ollie, if you lift your leg here, this is already starting to soften and loosen this muscle. His ankle relaxes down and this is nice and loose. Now the issue there is when I throw that kick, even if I partially get blocked by the shin, the rest of my foot gets round and it goes through to the bone. So that muscle gets hit and it goes all the way through those muscle fibers and it causes some deep damage. Problem of course being, once you take a few of those, you can no longer be weight bearing on that lead leg. And once you're not weight bearing on that lead leg, it's very difficult to throw any technique with power and it becomes really difficult to move. So just classically checking the kick, you might check it, but I can still wrap my foot round and catch him on the calf. If you take the Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier fight, it's a great example. Conor even said himself that he felt like he was checking the kicks, but in reality, he wasn't. He was getting his leg up as you classically would for a leg kick, so if I was going up to hit his thigh and getting that there and I'm running into that brutal bit of the knee, just below the knee, that's great. But what was happening is Poirier was reacting and responding accordingly. So from here, as he lifted that leg round, he was wrapping that kick round and kicking round into that calf. So what can we do? How can we effectively defend against this kick? Option number one is to lift the leg high enough to make them miss entirely. So instead of simply trying to check it with the shin, you get that whole leg out of the way. Nice and high with that check and make me miss and come underneath in entirely. So as I try to shoot that kick round, he lifts and makes me miss completely. Really effective, really simple. The problem of course being is if I can start getting him reacting like that and faking like that and getting his leg up, I can set up other shots really easily. And that's what happens. Eventually, people just develop such a fear of being kicked in the calf that they're not focused on what's going on with the hands, with the takedowns, with the entries, and they get caught out with something else. So the most effective way to defend against the calf kick is to get out of the way, guys. I know it sounds simple, but the reality is the most effective way Ollie can defend against this kick is to move both feet back. As I kick, slide out of range, out of distance. Not only does this mean he doesn't have to actually block or try to defend the kick, but he's in a position to do something as a follow-up. So depending on how heavily I commit, if I don't commit and I kick and he moves, he's still in a good position to deal with anything that might follow. So let's say I faked it and then I'm going to try and go in with my hands. If he's just moved out of the way in response to my fake, so he moves back, and then I try to come in with my hands, he's in a position to defend or to counter me. If he gets it and he gets me and I overcommit to that kick, so he moves out of the way and I overcommit, he's now in a great position to attack with his hands, with a takedown, with a grab, etc. So what we want to practice is not just getting out of the way, but getting back into range. It's all about getting just out of range. What we don't want to get in the habit of doing is moving right out. If Ollie avoids it but moves right out, yes, he's dodged the kick, but he's nowhere nearer to hitting me. So he's still on the vulnerable side of the attack. If, however, he can get it so he can just make me miss, now he's got a lot more opportunity to close up that distance and become effective off of the counters. So guys, those are 3 things to think about when it comes to the calf kick. Yes, you can check it, but it's not really very effective. Yes, you can lift up and get out of the way of it, but it leaves you vulnerable on a single leg and it leaves you vulnerable to other attacks off of the fake. Finally, the best thing you can do is to move your entire body out of the way, maintain your stance, maintain your balance, and look for the opportunities to counter. I hope that's been helpful, guys, and we will see you on the next one.